Welcome back to the Copdock Classic Bike Show. Hope you were watching last week. We've got plenty more to see.
You know, every bike show has its own unique atmosphere. And it's fair to say that the atmosphere at Copdock was very much a family one. Mini motos for the big kids and something, well, less dangerous, shall we say, for the youngsters. The usual mix of stalls selling everything from locks and chains to brand new machines. And for those visitors with a project underway back at home, there was the opportunity to pick up that hard to find part, that last nut, bolt and washer to complete the job. Need a second-hand panel, anyone? There's a good chance this man has one to suit. Or maybe you're after a full bike, a spot of DIY. This stall had what appeared to be a near-complete Triumph 955. Now, the great thing about coming to shows like this is you meet famous people all the time, and here's a famous person, Dave Bickers, star of motocross for many years, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, Dave, give us a potted history then of your motocross exploits.
Well, I started when I was 16, and then I went on and won a couple of European championships,
Yeah.
and about half a dozen British championships, and won a few more races, and I'd done it for 25 years and made a living out of it.
Yeah.
But then I got into film and TV work in the stunt side.
Yeah.
And
That's what you do now, isn't it? Because obviously you're not riding competitively now. So you have a company that does all the big stunts for James Bond and all this sort of stuff.
yeah, we've worked on the last 5 James Bond movies, and Superman and all those sort of things.
Right.
It's not actually work, I call it fun, you know, it's
I bet it is.
better than work.
Do you do any stunts yourself? Do you get involved, or you just set them up?
No, I don't do any of the real stunts. I mean, I did when I began, but I realised there was an opening for somebody just to fix them for the other people to do it.
Right, yeah.
And because there's a lot of nutters out there who do stunts,
Of course there is, yeah.
but they're not the ones you want to work with.
No, it's a very professional thing, isn't it? Obviously, yeah.
You're very professional.
Absolutely. So what brings you here then, Dave? Do you have a passion for classic machines?
Yeah, I like old bikes and things, and I live just down the road, so
Yeah.
I thought I'd come along and have a look.
I'm speaking to Alan. He's from the Vintage Motorcycle Club. So what is a vintage bike? Well, he's the man that knows. Now, I know a veteran motorcycle starts anything pre-1914. Then what happens after that?
Well, up to 1930, they're vintage motorcycles.
Right.
And then up to 1939, we have post-vintage motorcycles.
Okay.
And then we have the post-war classification, which is anything that's over 25 years old as at now. So pre-1976 bikes are all eligible for the Vintage Motorcycle Club.
What, in your opinion, makes a classic motorbike then? Something that's sort of made a mark in history, do you reckon?
I think classic bikes really were from the 60s and 70s. Things like the Triumph Trident, Rocket 3, Norton Commando, they're classics in my view.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. Now, this is your bike behind, isn't it, the Beezer?
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Well, this is a 1932 1000cc V-twin BSA, which I've had now for 25 years. My wife and I have travelled to Germany, France, Ireland on it. We use it regularly in Vintage Motorcycle Club events. And as you can see, it's looking a little used, but there again, it was restored 25 years ago.
It's an amazing looking machine, and I noticed it has the authentic sort of oil drip on the side, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, so this is known as a total loss oil system. There is no oil tank for the oil to return to. The oil that goes from the oil tank goes into the engine, then lubricates the engine and the primary drive, and the excess is burnt off and exudes onto the road. That's how it was designed.
That's amazing. So now we know why British Beezers leak oil.
Well, certainly Beezers from the 20s and 30s do leak oil because they're total loss oil systems, yes.
And your wife, does she travel in the sidecar?
Yes. In fact, I have a solo vintage motorcycle which she will not go on the back of because she gets a BSA, so that's why she only goes in the sidecar.
Well, you'll remember we met Paul with his very fancy customised Road King. Well, it's a family thing, this, because this is Paul's wife, Jane, and this is her Sportster. It started life as a standard Sportster, did it?
Yeah, it's an 883.
Yeah? And
Yeah.
can I just say as well, before we go on, this too was sat outside in the rain all night.
Yeah.
Don't cover it up.
No, they're bikes to ride. Just happens that they look nice as well.
Well, I agree with you. You've got to ride them. So it started life as an 883. Did you buy it as a standard 883?
We bought it brand new as a standard 883, and it needed a few changes. It was a little bit high for me because I'm only short.
Right.
And Paul decided if I wanted to do something with it,
Okay.
and I left it to him. And this is what I got.
It's not bad, is it?
No.
You went and bought them wheels at a custom place. It would cost you a couple of £1,000 a pair.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of money. And what is it worth? Because the standard bike's not that expensive, is it? Less than £6,000 you could buy
Yeah,
one of
it's
these.
about 5.5, I think, the standard bike.
What's it up to now? Do you know?
About 15.
15,000.
We haven't really sat and added it all up.
I just can't believe that you leave it out in the rain. How long does it take you to clean it? Do you clean it or do you clean it?
I clean it. Everybody thinks we spend hours and hours, but we don't.
Of course you do. It must take you hours to clean this.
Not really, not unless it gets really, really muddy and dirt. I mean, when we did 900 miles in the rain down to Saint-Tropez, it took us 3 hours to clean.
Blimey.
But to actually get it clean after a normal ride, about an hour and a half if we're lucky.
Now, you know your modern fancy sports bikes now. You look at your modern sports bikes and they're covered in bodywork, aren't they? Plastic fairings, you can't see anything. You can't see the engines at all on them these days. Well, just to show you that nothing's new, they were doing it years ago. Look at this. This is a Vincent Black Knight, this, 1955. Totally enclosed, the ultimate in weather protection. Can't see anything. But if you want to know what's under there, you just look at this one, because this is a Vincent Rapide, and underneath that is this. And then there's another little association with a couple of Vincents. There's one called the Black Prince. Now, the Black Prince is a black shadow with a body kit on. Okay? Black Knight is a Rapide with a body kit on. Confusion, isn't it?
Amazing what a group of guys can do to get a show together like this.
It just shows you what you can achieve, doesn't it? But a bit of organisation and a bit of commitment and motivation. Good, it started off as a little thing in a village hall, and now what?
It's grown huge.
Thousands, there are probably 10,000 people here, which is not bad for a place in the middle of nowhere. Because we are in the middle of nowhere, bloody Suffolk.
Yeah, I know, and you had a really good night, didn't you, on the town in Ipswich last night?
It could have been better, actually. If anyone knows where to get a decent pint in Ipswich, will you please let me know, because we couldn't find one. Or a good curry.
All you have to do is wait for this show next year, and then you can get a real ale from the bar.
I can, they've got real ale.
I know.
I've got to drive home 250 miles. But it's been a good show, some nice bikes.
It has, certainly has. I've loved looking at the vintage bikes here. It's superb.
Some smart Harley Customs as well.
Yeah, really shiny.
You like your old stuff, don't you?
I do like the old stuff. Yeah, if it's old and it's still going, it's my cup of tea.
There you go. Well, there's a chance for me yet then. Anyway, it's getting cold and I'm going for a brew.
I'm freezing too. You got to kiss a helmet, you know.
I did. Well,
I'm really jealous.
Well, we can't have you kissing helmets, can we? Anyway, on that note, I'm going for a brew and we'll see you next week.